All right, everybody, welcome back. We've got some more linebacker stuff here, more inside linebackers to look at, and we've kind of gotten to the point now where we're just kind of sifting through the bottom layers, and we're trying to find guys who are either going to be depth, guys who are going to be your backups, guys who are going to provide some level of security on the bench, or a guy that you could get super cheap to maybe provide a little bit of a shield for a rookie, right? Let's say you sign Patrick Queen and you know you're going to draft a guy, but you're not so sure you want to force that rookie to play day one. So you bring in a guy like one of the guys in these next few videos to just hold the fort down for a little bit while you prep the rookie to actually be able to productively take the field. So these are guys who should only cost a few million each. Maybe one or two will ascend beyond that, but I don't think it's super likely. And you're going to spend a few $1,000,000, get inconsistent, mediocre at best play for the most part. Maybe some of them ascend a little bit beyond that for one reason or another. And you come away feeling like, whatever. First guy is our old friend, Cody Barton. And I could not let this video series go without mentioning him because we have very affectionate feelings for Cody Barton around here in Seattle. Of course, he spent a year in Washington where he put up the numbers. He averaged almost 10 tackles a game, had an interception. I think he recovered a fumble from Russell Wilson in a very surreal moment to watch Cody Barton play against Russell Wilson and actually do something. Very surreal moment for us Seahawks fans. And I do think that there is work out there for him in the NFL at this point because he is somebody who has accumulated 250 plus tackles over the last two seasons combined, and that's with him missing 4 games last year. But I can't imagine him getting the big bucks because he's just not that good. And last year didn't really do anything to alleviate that. He put up bulk numbers, but the overall quality of play is just not really there. If anything, in Washington, it got a little bit worse. But there does remain some level of talent here. The guy moves very quickly. He's fast. There is some potential for him to be better in coverage than the average linebacker. So I do think he would probably cost around 1 year, $3 million, which is a little bit less than what he got last year. But you bring him in, you're putting him on your bench, you're putting him in special teams, and you're hoping he doesn't have to see the field all that much on defense. Next guy will be Drue Tranquill, a guy I remember discussing last year. So last year, I talked about him as a free agent option, somebody who would be relatively cheap. He went to the Chiefs, started 8 games, and helped them win the Super Bowl with an elite defensive all-around performance. Not necessarily from him, but he did do his job, played fairly well. He's got almost 10 sacks, 9.5 over the last 2 seasons combined. Accumulated big tackle numbers with the Chargers team that made the playoffs the year before, and played a role with the Chiefs team that would go on to win it all. So Drue Tranquill has kind of worked his way into the league as a guy who just hangs around as a quality piece that you can call on to start a handful of games, and you're going to feel like you get a decent amount out of him. But by no means a star, not really meant to be an everyday starter. He got $3 million from Kansas City. I don't know if he's going to get too much more than that. It's probably going to be another 1 year, $3 million, 1 year, $3.5 million type deal. Maybe $4 million because he was part of a really good defense that won the Super Bowl. But hard for me to believe he's going to break the bank or anything like that. He is about to turn 29, so age isn't a big concern yet, but it just kind of seems like he's one of those guys who has just become a wanderer. He just wanders from team to team every year. PFF was complimentary of his season in 2023, by the way. They liked him more than they liked Willie Gay. And Willie Gay is the one who I think will actually get a multi-year deal and probably get paid a pretty good amount. So, figure it out. But the year before that, they liked him too, more or less. Year before that, they were okay with him. So you get Drue Tranquill, even if you have to give him like 2 years, $6 million. I think that's great. 2 years, $8 million would be okay. I got no objection to any of that. So Drue Tranquill would be next. The third guy in this video is going to be somebody who I don't know why he doesn't get paid more than he does, but he just doesn't. So if that trend keeps up, maybe you can capitalize. It's Denzel Perryman. Denzel Perryman, most recently of the Houston Texans. This guy's had a pretty impressive career. He made a Pro Bowl with the Raiders in 2021. Had several good years with the Chargers before then. Had another pretty good year with the Raiders in 2022. And then he took a very small deal to play with the Texans last year. I know he misses a lot of games. He's never played a full season in his career. But for some reason, this guy just doesn't seem to get the credit that there should be for a guy who produces like this. Outside of 1 year, the year where he almost made the he did make the Pro Bowl and was on the field a ton. He's generally been solid in coverage, totally workable in coverage. And I'm just kind of a little bit confused to why nobody ever gives him even like a $3 million deal. PFF doesn't love him, but they're okay with him overall, so I don't know what gives here. There could be some gaping flaw in his game that I'm not aware of. There could be some big hole in his abilities that I'm not aware of, but seems to me to be a pretty workable player, and he just hasn't hit the big payday yet. Maybe this offseason is the offseason, but more likely, I think Denzel Perryman gets a 1 year, $3 million, and I definitely think he's going to be worth that. Last guy in this video that I want to cover will be from our division rival, Orin Burks. This is the guy who took the field when Dre Greenlaw got hurt in the Super Bowl and didn't look great, admittedly, but Orin Burks has proven to be a pretty quality depth piece in this league. Started a handful of games over the last 3 years for the Packers and Niners. 3 teams that were really, really good, by the way. The Packers went 14-3, I think. The Niners went to back-to-back NFC title games and won Super Bowl. So he's been part of some really impressive runs, some really good defenses with the Niners the last couple years. Had a big role in 2023 with 5 starts, 46 tackles, quality piece of that defense depth-wise. And he's probably earned himself some money. I know he's coming off that Super Bowl where things didn't go so great for him, but he was put in a very bad situation. Seems like he's also holds up pretty well in coverage. Not that it's a big sample size yet. We need more evidence. Former third-round pick, by the way, so the pedigree's there. PFF liked what he did in 2023 overall. They liked him a lot in 2022 when he had a smaller role. Year before, not so much, so make of it what you will. About to turn 29, so should be coming up on some of his better years here. Pretty fast for a linebacker. A little bit undersized compared to some of these guys, but not really undersized for the modern game. So Orin Burks, I'm not really sure what to expect from the deal he's going to get. He's coming off a deal that was giving him $2.5 million a year. I imagine that's going to go up to like 3.5, maybe 4. I don't think it's going to go too much beyond that. So I do think you're looking at something like 1 year, 3.5, or 2 years, 7. But I think he'd probably be worth that as a very low-level starter or a depth piece, like I said, like the Niners used him. He'll start the occasional game for an injured guy, and you'll play him a decent amount and get decent production, but you're not going to put the whole world on his shoulders. Might work. Seems like a good idea to me to offset some of the young players you're going to stock your linebacker room with guys like this, who are just kind of there to take up time and provide replacement level play, maybe a little bit better for cheap. All right, another video coming later today where we take a look at a few more candidates for this, but those would be some guys that I would pursue for depth, guys that I would pursue to just kind of fill out your roster with guys that you at least feel some level of comfort with. So let me know what you think. See you guys later. Go Hawks.